Want to know why people keep getting end-of-the-world predictions wrong? Stick around for different views on Revelation. What's up everybody, I'm Josh and welcome to Christian Sophistry, taking apologetics to the next level. And if you want to engage in this conversation, or you just love apologetics in general, think about hitting that subscribe button down below. Okay, end of the world predictions happen all the time, and a lot of those times, they're coming from Christians. Now, this is a good thing for critics because they can keep pushing the idea that Christianity is just a hub for crazy delusional ideas. But Christians don't usually know how to combat those ideas because most of us hardly ever touch the book of Revelation at all. And even when we do, we have no idea what the heck it's talking about. So, when people start talking about the end of the world, our best and automatic response is this passage. Matthew 24:36. But about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Not that I think that this passage is necessarily wrong in this situation. But if you watch my video on Matthew 24, I'll put the link up here, you'll find that I don't think that this passage in Matthew 24 is talking about the end of the world at all. In fact, the Bible might talk a lot less about the end of the world than we think it does. And maybe not at all according to some paradigms. I do think it's important for anybody that's practicing apologetics, or in other words, anyone openly identifying as a Christian, to be aware of different views on Revelation and eschatology and establish what we believe about them. So that when we engage with critics about end-of-the-world crazy heads, we have something more to give them than just a passage in Matthew 24 that's probably taken out of context. So I want to talk about 4 primary views on Revelation and eschatology. The first is the Hysteresis view, which we see as early as 300 AD. I do think that it makes sense that this is the earliest view that we see, because this is the view that says the events described in Revelation are scattered throughout history between the time of Daniel to the second coming of Christ. When this view had developed and first been articulated, not a lot of history had happened up to that point from the time of Christ. But I don't think that delegitimizes the view, I just think that that's why we see it that early. A ton of brilliant theologians and thinkers have subscribed to this view, including Martin Luther, Isaac Newton, and Francis Lee. Now the second view is the Preterist view, which developed in the late 16th century. And you know, this view never really got popular, at least not like the other ones did. It sort of slowly grew over time, but today it's becoming a more and more popular view. This is the view that the events that the book of Revelation is referring to are events that have already happened in our past. Specifically, it's referring to events that happened to the people that John is writing to when he writes the book of Revelation. Some famous thinkers that have affiliated with this view are J.I. Packer, maybe R.C. Sproul, and Pastor Douglas Wilson. The third view we're going to talk about is the Futurist approach, which also appears in the end of the 16th century. This one got really popular right around the 19th and 20th century. And although the crazy predictions that we see today are technically under this category, I definitely don't want to label this view as the unintelligible view, especially since most people find themselves here in this category. This is the view of the book of Revelation that says the events in the book of Revelation are referring to events that will happen closer to the end times. This view has gotten a lot more complicated over the years, and there are a lot of variations of it, but basically this is the view that tries to take the most literal interpretation of Revelation as possible. Thinkers that have associated with this view are thinkers like John MacArthur, Norman Geisler, and Warren Wiersbe. Lastly, the fourth category that I want to talk about is the Idealist approach. This view was developed in the 19th century and is getting really popular today because of a lot of the best commentaries affiliating with this view. This is the view of Revelation that suggests that the text of Revelation is not referring to any actual events at all, but instead it depicts a metaphorical or poetic depiction of a spiritual battle that we all experience as Christians. Proponents of this view are scholars like William Mounce and Grant Osborne, both of which have written really solid commentaries on the Book of Revelation. So those are the four main categories of views on Revelation, and I want to know what your views of Revelation are, so let me know down in the comments section down below. And yeah, it does bother me that conspiracy videos will probably get a lot more views than this one, but if you thought this video was valuable, go ahead and like and share this video with your friends. Otherwise, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for arguing with me.